1837, nearly 300 years ago. Yet still, because of the fact that we are humans and we care and we remember, we are remembering their names today. And that's all thanks to the Pitcrack Group and all of the work they do. So I'd like to hand over to Dave.
I'm just going to do a short condensed version of what I usually tell you about the Corpshill pit. Was well named because it's situated in what is now the old cemetery. Obviously it had some form of cemeterial connotation then, and it was named Corpshill pit. It was shortened to Corporal pit at one point, and it formed part of Lowther's Howgill colliery. When he lost the colliery at the back of the castle, he was frantically searching for coal, and he came across this coal over here, and it saved his finances. In fact, it made the major part of his fortune. It was that good. When this happened on the 5th of August, the whole town was in shock because nothing like that had ever happened in Whitehaven before. I don't know whether in other parts of the country there'd been big explosions, but over in the West Cumbria coalfield, it was the first major explosion. And it put the town into shock, and the miners refused to go back until Carlisle Spedding, the famous engineer, and his son had gone through every working and reported that there was no after damp, because it wasn't the explosion that killed these miners. It killed some, but it was the gases produced afterwards that killed them. So when he'd done that, and his son was severely injured through breathing this after damp, because it's quite a dangerous gas, the miners went back grudgingly. 22 people had died, one of them a woman, Elizabeth Miller. I don't know how old she was, it doesn't say in that report. But the only other one I've heard of, I got a report of before that, was an explosion at Ensingham with Preskill. And in that, there was only one person killed. I'm saying only, when one person's killed is enough. But the report of the explosion could be heard all over the town, so it was a massive explosion. Anyway, it was the forerunner of a lot more, which we commemorate. So without further ado, Mark, I'll pass it back to you.
Thanks Dave. Yes, so before I read the names, just to reflect on what Dave said there. So 1737, so it's nearly 300 years ago, and obviously the town is connected with Mildred Gale, George Washington's grandmother, and I was looking, and George Washington was born in 1731. So, you know, he would have been 6, obviously not living in Whitehaven necessarily, but just that's the era that we're talking about, and some 300 years later we're still remembering. And that notion that you know, sadly today we see so many events where there are multiple losses of lives, and it's, you know, it's still shocking, but if this was the first instance of a multiple loss of life, you know, what might that have meant to the community at the time to see all those lives lost in a single incident. So I'll now read the names of those who were lost, and then we will observe a minute's silence. The names of those killed was as follows: Robert Benn, James Copeland, George Dixon, John Dixon, William Gamble, David Gordon, John Gordon, Arthur Graham, John Harrison, William McMullen, William McMullen, Elizabeth Moore, James Page, John Ridley, Timothy Robinson, John Salkeld, Jonathan Smith, Richard Troutbeck, Andrew Warlock, Abraham Watson, Thomas Westray, John White. We will remember them.
We will remember them.
We will now observe a minute's silence before we say the Lord's Prayer. Thank you. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So finally, just if there are any other thoughts or words anybody would like to say.
Tom?
No, it's too far away, but it's 300 years. Like.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, and it was the
I think I was only one then.
beginning of coal mining in this area, you know, so.
I mean, the impact it had on the families and the lessons that might have been learned, you know, given that it was really at the start of the whole industry, or perhaps when the industry was being scaled up, you know, the lessons would hopefully.
One humorous bit to a distressing incident is there's 3 shafts in the old cemetery, and I monitor the situation. One of them's cratered, so I go and see if it's getting any worse, and it's in the top undergrowth.
Okay.
And when I first went there 3-4 years ago, there's an old fridge. Someone had dragged an old fridge
All the way up.
there and dumped it in
It's
the
a fridge
floor.
pit now, isn't it?
Now, I've watched it gradually deteriorate.
Yeah.
It's nearly got down to the point of where it's falling apart now.
Yeah.
You've got to understand how dangerous this was. We've got methane
Yeah.
all through a coal mine,
Yeah.
and we've got a guy walking about with a candle. Something's going to happen at some time.
It's,
That tank was perilous times,
Yeah.
especially for mining.
well, we'll conclude there, but I just think, again, you know, all